VGRT Gaming Podcast, episode 758, recorded on August 30th. Damn it. VGRT Gaming Podcast, episode 758, recorded on August 13th, 2025.
Hello, and welcome to the 758th edition of the TD Gaming Podcast and 591st episode of Video. I'm TJ Denzer.
And I am Jonah Falcon.
The VGRT Gaming Podcast focuses on game news from around the industry.
Yeah, so this is going to be a short one. There isn't much going on. There is actually, but not as much as we can really talk about. Perhaps the biggest news right now is what the hell's going on with Valve. Valve claims it's innocent, but first things off, they're saying, MasterCard says they don't want to be associated with some of those titty games. So we're going to be taking them off because, they say they don't want R-rated or whatever, which is bullshit. Because you know what you can do? You could have a lot of people just marking games with LGBT games as adult and have Steam take them off because of it.
Yeah, and that's such a weird thing to have happened. Like, to the point where, because the only people I can see putting pressure on MasterCard and Visa to do this is like a fringe right-wing activist group that I think is stationed out of Australia.
You have to wonder who's running MasterCard.
It's just MasterCard and Visa should not have a say in what anyone purchases. That is just the way it should be. Like, that's the fact of the matter. They are the transactional part. They are not the business maker. They are not the legislator. They are not anything that should be involved. Because, how much do they allow in other regards anyways when it comes to purchasing anything you want with those cards? Is MasterCard going to stop you if you go to the store and buy a titty mag and some lube? No, of course they aren't. But,
they tried the same thing with OnlyFans. Remember?
It's ridiculous, though. I don't want to live in a world where MasterCard and Visa gets to have a say in the things I do or don't buy. And
yeah. And then you have PayPal, which is excluding certain regions from being able to use it. That I'm less bothered about because I'm pretty sure it has something to do with Russia and other, but still it sucks if you live in some place and you can't purchase it because it's not one of the regions that's allowed by PayPal.
Yeah, it's
but here's the thing. If you're living in Russia, understand you're not going to get much because there's a lot of embargoes happening. And by the way, video games are a luxury and not a necessity, So if they say no Russia, well, if you want that to end, then force Putin out and stop invading the Ukraine or something.
Yeah, and it's getting to the point where we've seen UK just outright ban websites for without age verification content. And we're talking about not just porn sites. Yeah, Pornhub was the big one, but Discord has that now. They put pressure on Discord to do that, where now people just woke up one day and tried to log into Discord and it said your region doesn't allow this because of certain content that may or may not be on this channel. And
here's the funny thing is that we are not live on YouTube this time because apparently there's a boycott going on YouTube in which creators are not uploading today. I have no idea what it's about, but I am not going to cross that line because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a reason that I agree with.
It's the same thing. I actually wrote about this today. YouTube rolled out AI-powered age restriction verification. Yes, thank you, Siren. That was just outside Jonah's window.
Thunderstorm. So
that was so timely, but yeah, that's why people are mad because this is essentially what they did with Discord, except this is across the world. YouTube is now forcing you. This AI system picks up on cues if you act like somebody that's under 18, and if it pings you, then you have to then put in like state ID to verify your age and identity.
I would YouTube. Love that for other things though, like social media, because I hate anonymity. I don't want to talk to some 13-year-old. Okay.
Yeah.
I now learn the wisdom of children should be seen and not heard.
True that. And like social media is a cesspool anyways, but like that's why people are mad at YouTube today, because it's absolute bullshit that like suddenly this is the thing that we're talking about. We're like, now if you get caught on this, you have to like put an ID in, and they don't like make it clear what happens with the data that they pull from the verification to make sure that you're over 18. And that's the part that
reminds me, I'm getting my real ID tomorrow. And it's sort of like, I'm a little bit wary of it because now they're recording where I go within the country, you know?
Yeah. And to have that required for a system that Google is using where you don't know where that data goes after you put it in. Like, they'll say they're transparent, but there are parts of some of that stuff where they say we do sometimes use it in our algorithms or training. And it's like, that's creepy.
What's cool is that Europe is starting to look at Google as a monopoly. Well, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be an interesting thing to follow where it goes with that. I mean, Microsoft was able to get away with it because A, Sony is bigger. B, it was a vertical, not a horizontal edition. And not that Microsoft is getting any bigger, because unfortunately, Contraband was announced that it's been canceled. And I was actually looking forward to that one. But then again, we hadn't heard from it in 4 years. So, you know, whatever happened there, I was hoping it would be something like GTA's heist mode, but now we'll just have to wait for GTA.
Yep. Still feels like we're going to be waiting a while. Like, I think that the delay that we...
Zelnick said, oh, guess what? We're not delaying it this time. Every time someone says that, it says, oh, it's going to be delayed.
Which, like, I don't know. Let them cook until they're done.
We're getting a Silk Song before GTA 6 now.
If Rockstar Games is going to make the supposed best game ever made, then they might as well put in the time.
You know, I wonder if they're going to delay it because Microsoft's been making noise that the new Xbox is going to be able to do GTA 6 in 120, in 60, I mean, instead of 30. Because we already know that PlayStation Pro or whatever is not going to be able to do it at 30. As a matter of fact, it's going to be tough for PCs to put it at 60. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Although I wonder if you have a really good streaming service, I wonder if I don't know. But to tell you the truth, GTA 6 is not really heavy on my mind. It's not what I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah. I have no feelings about it until it actually, like, I want to see a full gameplay video from front to back. I know they've shown like in engine. I know they're like saying this is all done in the game, but I want to see gameplay that doesn't look like a cutscene.
So, by the way, speaking of games I know you're really looking forward to, have you been playing the Endless Legend 2 demo?
I have. I started it up the day it came out. I've been fiddling a lot with the adepts, which are so in that game they're like synergy robot and like biology. They're half robot, half animal, but like not cyborgs. Right. It's just an amalgam of like living coral and robots, and their whole thing is like diplomacy, like fast expansion and assimilation. And to a degree, like when you're playing that game and you're starting your cities and you run into like the minor settlements, they'll often give you like a quest, like in Civilization with the city-state envoys, where they want you to do something and then you'll get a bonus for that. And Endless Legend, with the aspects, since they're so heavy on diplomacy and their whole thing is spreading their environment, you can straight up assimilate cities just by spreading your coral to them underneath their foundation, and then you just get to take them.
Yeah, you've been talking about this game for months now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like they're really, really weak combatively, which is interesting because the three factions that they've put in this game are there's like a defensive faction, and then there's the necrophage, who are like,
how much of the game is in the demo?
Three factions, two of them are playable, and a regular campaign with those three factions, and the tutorial. So you can play through I think the first three eras of the game, and that's gotten me up over 100 turns already. I haven't finished actually a full run of a game on the demo yet, but as far as what you can play as two of the factions. You can play as the defensive faction, the aspects, and then you can only have the necrophages as an enemy. But like the necrophages are interesting because they're like the all-devouring, all-war bug beings that what's that one in Warhammer 40K? There's like a bug race in 40K that's like that.
I just know the rat race and the orcs and
yeah. They're kind of like the Vermintide, where like their whole thing is just devouring everything and replenishing their numbers by devouring everything. So
yeah. Well, if we're going to go to what I've been playing PGA 2K5, 2K25. I mean, it's okay. I can see why people are bothered by the virtual currency, but I've been playing it, and I really haven't needed, because here's the thing about golf: it's a solo sport. I mean, yeah, you can have people competing against each other, but you're still a team of one. And depending on the difficulty level you have, you don't really care about increasing your stats. As a matter of fact, I'm playing on so well that I need to bump up my difficulty because I keep on getting birdies on almost everything. So the only problem is that it's kind of bland. I know what they're trying to go for, but they need it. There's too much focus on the wrong stuff there. So, but hey, is not focusing on the single player experience. Where's the shock?
Yeah, like, I mean, as far as because they've split them up into two different games at this point, haven't they? Like PGA 2K still has PGA, but like Tiger Woods was doing something, wasn't he?
He's in the game. He's not the cover athlete, but he's in the game.
I thought he started another golfing game franchise
that was
recently.
Electronic Arts Tiger Woods game. I don't know if that's still around.
That was EA Sports PGA Tour in 2023. I don't think it is still around.
No. As a matter of fact, PGA Tour 2K25 does have Tiger Woods in it. He's not the cover athlete, but he's in it. He's one of the cover athletes. You can see him in his shirt and black on the splash screen, but he's not. It's Tiger Woods, Max Homa, and Matt Fitzpatrick.
I see. Okay.
So Tiger's no longer a cover athlete anymore, or at least one that can sell a game on his own.
Well, he's getting up there in age these days. I don't think I've seen him in like the top rankings in golf.
Well, he's going to have to be on the senior tour.
Sure, yeah.
But, so yeah, I other than that, I haven't really been playing anything new. Like I said, this week has been slow when it comes to gaming news. I mean, when Endless Legend 2, that demo is the main news. And right now, most of it is just, like we said, worrying about the industry.
There's a lot.
I mean,
like it's
deep trouble.
Yes, it does feel that way. There's a lot of trouble around lately. Like, what do you even say about it?
I mean, I mean, PUBG is going to drop PS4 and Xbox One support.
That feels like it was coming, though. Like, we're this far. We're like, what, 5 or 6 years into this generation of consoles?
Well, what's funny is that there's still a bunch of games being released on PS4 and Xbox One. Because now that backwards compatibility is, anything that's the PS5 and Xbox Series consoles can play those games. So why not have a last gen version of the game if you really want to sell it? Maybe you just make an Xbox One PS4 version, and since it's forwards compatible, who cares? Really, it's only the big games that released on both platforms. I think most of the time you'll see PS4 and Xbox One games being released now, first run, because you don't need to go that higher thing, especially if you're doing an indie game, especially if you're doing a retro game.
Yeah, and sorry, I'm just looking at this for a second.
That Rod Ferguson left Blizzard.
That's weird, because just in April, he said that he had like a 10-year plan for Diablo 4. And I can't imagine that leaving Blizzard was part of his 10-year plan for the game. And that was in April. That was in April 2025 that he said that.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. People are talking about all these firings and leavings from the video game industry. It's going to be all over because the value of the dollar is shrinking now because of Trump, and we're not at the lowest yet. Things are going to get worse before they get better. So you're going to see a lot more people. And by the way, what a time to have an $80 game, huh?
Right.
It's not selling because of that.
They raised the price on the Switch One, which I think is because the Switch One is still partially manufactured in China, which got hit with some of the hardest tariffs. But it's still just so weird to be like 8 years into the original Switch's cycle and then be raising prices like that right now. Especially with the new console having come out, to be raising prices on the previous console after the new one came out.
Which is bizarre to me.
Yeah, it is very weird.
Also, makes that thing about, hey, well, if you can't get a Switch 2, you can just get a Switch 1 sound even more sus. But hey, pay more for an older console.
Yeah, it makes no sense. It's well, I mean, it does make sense in the way that like this is almost entirely. I feel like this is almost entirely affected by trade and the current and the ridiculousness of these tariffs and the climate that we're in. Because the fact of the matter is, like Switch 2, they were able to move most of the manufacturing for Switch 2 out to like Taiwan, which is not as affected. But China is still getting hit the hardest, and they still make Switch 1 in China.
Yeah. But, now we know why that EA is not releasing $80 games.
Mm-hmm.
They promised it 2 weeks ago that we're not going to have any. Now we know why, because people can't afford it.
Yeah, I think it was Battlefield 6 in specific that what's his face, their CEO was very adamant about they're not going to go past $70 for Battlefield 6.
Yeah, I mean, people can't buy it. And, by the way, people are still buying physical games. So,
yep. And despite, I don't know if you saw the beta this last week, but Battlefield 6 was just all over the place. Like, that game got hundreds of thousands of people in there for an open beta. And it's looking pretty active. I haven't seen a good launching Battlefield game.
I've seen a lot of hopeful comments about the new Battlefield game because they all want a Call of Duty killer. But my attitude is, well, it doesn't matter because people who play Battlefield don't play Call of Duty, and people who play Call of Duty don't play Battlefield.
For the most part, and I have been, and I was one of them for a long time, Battlefield fans have been chasing the high that was Bad Company 2. Bad Company 2 was by far the best that the series has ever been, in my opinion. And I'm not alone in that. I know a lot of people feel that way because they often say, when is Bad Company 3? Like, when are they going to do that again? When are they going to bust out that pearl?
But did you see the weird news about how you can't play Battlefield 6 and Valorant at the same time because their anti-cheat programs fight each other? EA uses Javelin and Riot uses Vanguard, and you can't play them both together, or else they're going to flag each other.
Dude, it's not even just those two games. It's a lot of different games where, like, if you have, like, EA and Battlefield, once again, like, legitimizing everybody's concerns when they hear that a game has a rootkit anti-cheat system. Like, it detects whether or not you have, like, mods installed on other games and will flag you as a cheater. Like,
you have to make sure they're closed. You can't have, you have to make sure it's really, really closed or it's going to flag you.
I have a colleague that, he streams Microsoft Flight Simulator for us, and he's got that thing modded to heck. And he doesn't want to jump in. He's nervous about jumping into Battlefield 6 because he's worried it's going to flag him and, like, call him a cheater and break his system. And, like, he spent a lot of time getting his mods ready for that game. It's a lot of work that he's done.
You know what? I really can't blame EA or Riot Games at all, because if you play some older multiplayer, there's so many cheaters, it's not funny.
Dude, and that's the problem is that, like, the player community legitimized their concerns. They claim to have caught 330,000 instances of cheating over a free beta. That's a lot of cheating. That's too much fucking cheating.
How tiny is your penis that you want to dominate on an open beta?
Man, why are gamers so weak these days? It used to be like get good or stop playing. Now it's get yourself the stupidest fucking new hack that you can get your hands on and try to cheese your way to the top.
I mean, here's the thing, the anti-piracy stuff, like, the real bullshit ones, those I have a problem with. But any cheaters, that is a real problem.
It is. It is. And I wish they didn't have to design freaking programs that go into the rootkit of my computer to try to stop it. Like, that's a little bit too invasive.
Yeah. And it's not like consoles are any different either, although you have to go through more hoops just to cheat on that. You actually have to mod the console.
Yeah.
At least, but computers, you just some software. And like I said, I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't get cheating in multiplayer. I get cheating in single player because, if people didn't want me to cheat in video games, God would have never created the God mode. It's my way of leveling the playing field.
Yeah, absolutely no issues with.
I just want to bypass it.
Zero issues with single player cheating. Like that's.
You see Zen over there. I don't want to deal with Zen.
Mm-hmm.
Not Half-Life. I don't.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
multiplayer, like I said, who's going to complain if you cheat in single player? The computer?
They might. Or if they have like piracy software where they have a crab chase you around for the entire game.
Oh, I remember the piracy thing done for Batman Arkham Asylum, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
It made it so that if you try to glide, your wings wouldn't open.
Yeah, I remember that. Like then you had people coming out like, what is this bug? Why am I running into this? And you have the developers be like,
remember the quote exactly. The developer says, it sounds like the bug is in your morality.
Excellent.
Yeah. One of the annoying things is that I had 2 copies of Alpha Protocol, and I always had to enter in the code for one of them, because if I didn't, it would start going, it would literally be coughing. And I had to re-enter the code just to make it stop coughing. Yes, I have a legit copy. That's why I was so happy when it came out on Steam for $2.99. I said, screw it. No more disc. Boom. I don't have to deal with that crap anymore.
Yep.
I remember the code wheels. I miss code wheels. Especially for Bard's Tale. Do you remember the Bard's Tale code wheel? Oh, and the one that had the most interesting one was, damn it, I forgot the name of it. But it actually came with a paragraph book, and which you would read. Oh, yeah. Was it the first Wasteland? Yeah, it was Wasteland. The first Wasteland, you'd have to read from a book. It would tell you, read this paragraph here. That was the way it had its thing, or else you didn't know what was going on. Here's the other thing. If you decided to read the book, the second one would have the beginning of the page. It would say there was this naked woman in a tub and her breast and all that stuff. And then the next page says, oh, geez, I'm so tired with these cheaters. Can we just get on with it? So it's sort of like, no. Stop reading the book from beginning to end. That's cheating. I miss those thick manuals.
I do too.
Yeah, you should have read the manual for the original Pirates. You got to learn a lot.
Warcraft 2 was maybe my favorite one because they had so much. They had like straight up illustrations and descriptions of every single unit in that game.
But then again, there were no tutorials. See, you were plopped in the game and said, hey, guess what? If you need to learn the game, read the fucking manual.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the Pharaoh manual was this thick. And
oh my God.
Water damaged. What a shame, because it talked so much about not only the mechanics of the game, but what everything meant in the real life. Anytime you had a Sid Meier manual, you were reading a textbook. But
yeah, one book that I would actually like to get my hands on as far as old manuals go, I would actually like to get my hands on a copy of the Fallout 1 manual.
Oh, another one. It's not a manual; it's a Prima guide. But if you can find it, find the Master of Magic Prima guide. I bought it, and it made me want to buy the game.
Nice.
Yeah,
like the Fallout 1 guide was like, it was a straight up like Ring notebook with well, yeah, but like for the audience, it was a Ring notebook, and it was like straight up built after the Wasteland survival guide that you would find in the game. It was themed like that. It was so cool. I love it. I want to have it just to have in my collection of stuff.
Oh, well, guess what? You can actually, I'm going to give you the link here to see what it actually was, because they actually did turned it into a PDF. So you don't have the rings, but you have the exact dialogue of everything that was in it.
Yeah. And like they actually had illustrations. That was my first... The death claws as they looked in the original manual.
You have Vault Boy sitting underneath a school desk with a nuclear explosion behind him.
Mm-hmm.
It says atmospheric effects of blast, the mushroom cloud. The heat from fusion instantaneously raises the surrounding air to 10 million degrees Celsius. The superheated blah 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 blah, and it keeps on going on and on and on. All this stuff that has nothing to do with a friggin' game, except giving you the background.
And like art, like seeing the death claws as they were in the first game in that manual, like the first time you see them, they look so different from what we know of them today.
Check it out. You have something like how to eat a rat. Over 101 recipes from basic meals to a complete set of dishes, all the way from snacks to desserts. And you have I have Vault Boy holding up a dead rat.
Ah, man, I miss good manuals.
Yeah, but it's all here. And let's see, how long is this manual? Oh,
Oh man, page 78.
but anyways, yeah, there's 121 pages to this PDF file. Oh yeah, showing a death claw. Resolution. But yeah, if you want, you can save that, and you have it. You just don't. If you really want to do it, you can just get a hole puncher, and it's not the same as the ringed that it had. But even if you just have a 3-ring binder, it's still sort of like having the original manual.
Yeah.
But if you notice, all the key presses and all the shit, there's no hover, there's no tooltips, no new tutorial. No, they just shove you in.
Yep. Man. I'm just looking over this thing because, I love this stuff.
It's not a visual thing for our listeners right now.
I know, but if you ever get a chance, go if you're watching this or you're listening to this and you ever get a chance, go into look up the Fallout 1 manual and go to I guess would be page 78.
All you have to do is Google Fallout 1 manual, and the very first thing is the 121 page PDF.
Fun times.
Yeah, I have to see about the Pharaoh manual, because that was a thing of beauty too. Anyways, we really do have one big item, and it's too bad Scott isn't here, because this is just going to make me snark from left to right. Take-Two boss reckons Civilization 7 will hit its lifetime target despite slow start. This comes from Eurogamer. Take-Two Interactive boss Strauss Zelnick believes Civilization 7 is still on track to hit its lifetime value projections, whatever that means. It was released back in February, and criticism from customers soon followed. Complaints were loud enough, particularly among the series' more visible base of PC players, because it also launched on consoles, that Firaxis quickly moved to address fans, providing a roadmap of fixes that's still ongoing. It appears these early troubles have contributed to what Zelnick is now acknowledged to be a slow start. A slow start? If you go to the Steam concurrent users, Civilization 7 right now has the same number of concurrent users as Civilization Beyond Earth. Not Civ 5, not Civ 6, Beyond Earth.
That's not good.
Beyond Earth, the shitty spin-off that people just hate, but apparently more people are playing that than Civ 7.
Yeah, let me see. So, yeah. Civ 6 is still seeing 24,000 people, and right now where Civ 7 is at 6,000. That's sad. And I mean, he's not wrong to say that Civ picks the mainline Civ games pick up around their DLC, but you shouldn't start off on such a rough foot on the way there.
But here's the thing: I've seen games like this, and those DLC have a small hiccup. They, for Civ 6, it might be up and then a slow down. No, for a game like this, for Civ 7, it's going to be up and then back to normal. People check out the new content, and they leave.
Yeah. And so, and the other thing is that even with Civ 5 and Civ 6, you still had a decent base game before you got to the DLC, and people were excited because they were getting better things on top of what they had already enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yes, Brave New World fixed a little bit of what was going on with Civ 5, but Civ 5 was still fun before Brave New World.
And it's interesting to play those games without the DLC, because it's sort of wow, that sure added a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to go back to the thirds theory that Sid Meier says, that a sequel should have 1/3 old stuff, 1/3 improved stuff, 1/3 new stuff. And Civ 7 broke that, and people can't get into it because of that. And here's the thing. I said this when it launched, and now everybody else is starting to say it. If they'd called this Civ Revolution 3, no one would have cared. They would have said, oh, good, a new version of Civ. This is not Civ. This is Civ Rev. And as we know, Civ Rev was the Civ that you could play in an hour. It was streamlined. And that's what Civ 7 is. It's streamlined.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 3 ages, mostly disconnected, unfortunately.
But it's too streamlined.
But that's just, if they called it Civ Rev 3, people would have said, hey, this is a really cool thing. They wouldn't have thought it was a replacement for Civ 6. They would have thought, oh, well, we're getting a new Civ that's, you know, that's a little, it's cartoony, it's better looking, and it's intended to be played quickly. Calling it Civ 7 was a death knell, because now people are going to be comparing it to Civ 6 and Civ 5. Because I'm going to tell you, there's a good chunk of people who don't like Civ 6 who still play Civ 5.
Yeah. It's a shame. Like, I don't hate Civ 7, but like I agree with you that like it's just it doesn't hit the way that a proper Civ game should.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's too fast. It's too fast.
The problem is that
I appreciate like the visuals and I appreciate the flavor and I appreciate them trying different things, but it still ends up feeling like Civ Lite or like you said, like Civ Rev.
You know, Civ 7 was aimed to be like Grand Theft Auto. Or NBA 2K, they were trying to turn Civ into a live service. And what they don't get is that most people don't play Civ for the multiplayer. That's just something you do with your friends. There is a competitive Civ scene, but then again, you have a competitive everything. You'll have a competitive, competitive chess. You know, if you have a game that allows for multiplayer, there's going to be a competitive for that. But people play Civ because they want the single player experience.
Yeah, I agree. Like I play Civ to play by myself for the most part and just like enjoy seeing any number of ways in which the campaigns can play out depending on the choices I've made. I still like that about Civ 7. I still think that there's opportunity to have fun and surprising experiences, but it doesn't last for the long haul like the other games did.
So I'm going to tell you this article from 2012 to give you an idea of where the mindset was of a lot of publishers when Frank Gibeau, who was the EA Studio president in 2012, bragged, I have not greenlit one game to be developed as a single player experience. He was so happy about it. We are very proud of the way EA evolved with consumers. I have not greenlit one game to be developed as a single player experience. Today, all of our games include online applications and digital service that make them live 24/7, 365. That tastes like milk, didn't it?
Yeah. And it's like, it's the novelty, you know, like there's novelty that stays with a good Civ game all the way past a turn 100. There's novelty that stays with you in Civ 5 and Civ 6, whether you're in the first turn or you're in the 200th turn. For me, the novelty in Civ 7 like starts, it feels fresh when you jump in, and then it wears off at around turn 50. Like, and that's just...
Yeah, even for a multiplayer experience, it's not very good. Because from what I understand from people who play Civ 6 a lot multiplayer, a lot of times you get the cues of what your opponent's doing. And when you can see what your opponent's doing, you can guess what they want to do. You can't do that in Civ because everybody has the same options. So even as a multiplayer experience, it fails.
Yeah, that's another one of the things I like about Endless Legend 2 is that, like, yes, the factions have similar-ish units, but for the most part, every single faction has its own core set of units that are different from the other factions and generally play into their specialty. Like, the aspects are peaceful, like, they're not big fighters. They don't have brutes in their armies. They have a lot of archers and a lot of swarm and, like, small fry, like, hit and run creatures. And that's just the way they are. Meanwhile, you look at like the necrophages and they have like hulking, flying things that spit acid at you. And I like that. I like that every faction has something that makes it not only like different in society and gameplay progression and combat, but also in combat. Like every unit, like every group has vastly different units from the other groups. It plays like combat in Endless Legend 2 plays more similar to like Warhammer Total War than it does to a Civilization game. And I like that. I think it's really neat. It's gonna be what Civ 7 should have been for me this year. I feel it. I'm having a good time with it. And it just makes me kind of sadder that Civ 7 stumbled so hard.
It doesn't make me sad that Civ 7 stumbled. Actually, it makes me glad because I did not want positive reinforcement for Civ 7, to tell you the truth. They made a big mistake.
Do you think they'll take this as an inflection point to make their next moves better?
I think so. I think they may go, if they were smart, they would release Civ 8 and a spin-off Civ, which is more multiplayer focused, that takes what Civ 7 did, iterates it a little bit differently so that there's more continuity between the ages.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, here's the thing. A lot of people say, whatever its faults, they love what they did with the armies and the generals in Civ 7.
I do like that stacking feature. I like that a lot.
Stacking, but this is a different kind of stacking.
Mm-hmm. Like I like that the placement of the general and your formations actually makes a difference in Civ 7. That's something that I do enjoy.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I will say this might be the shortest period between two Civ games. Civ 8 may come out a lot faster than Civ 7 did after Civ 6.
Mm.
Because by the way, going back to Frank Gibeau and bragging in 2012 that he didn't greenlight any multiplayer, any single player experiences. You know, a game had come out the year before, the Elder Scrolls Skyrim. They're still selling that thing for full price. 14 years later.
Wow.
And guess what? It's a single player game. It's a completely single player game. I will say this, though, maybe what Frank Gibeau should have realized was it wasn't the multiplayer that people liked, it's the engagement. And Skyrim has the most engagement of any game that you'll ever have because all you have to do is go to Nexus Mods and see how many fucking mods there are there. In the hundreds of thousands. That is player engagement. That is player engagement. All you have to do is somehow monetize it, which Bethesda tried to do. Here's the thing. I don't mind having official mods in which you pay the creators of those mods and Bethesda gets a small percentage of those sales. That's perfectly fine, I mean, it encourages stuff. I mean, we already know that Bethesda's heart is in the right place because that team working on the Skyrim version of the Oblivion mod for Skyrim got gifts from Bethesda, because Bethesda knows that these modders are the heart of their games. These modders don't exist; their games die on the vine.
Yeah. Yes. And yeah, that like modding has been a huge thing. As far as like taking this back to
Fallout and Elder Scrolls have been modded the hell out of.
Mm-hmm. And to an extent, that's kind of what helps keep games like Civ and Endless Legend alive too, because they have. As long as the base game is good, people will want to show up and make new things for it.
And you can't mod? Multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
That'll get the cheat bots on you. Mm-hmm. Modding multiplayer is cheating.
Yep. Bummer.
But like I said, you want player engagement. It's not the multiplayer. Because here's a little thing. A lot of multiplayer players are toxic, and no one wants to deal with them.
For sure. I don't. I don't want to play.
Toxic for the most part. Modders can't be toxic. Any offensive things can just be, Nexus mods to get that thing out of here.
I remember I was on Turncast for maybe 2 or 3 runs, and I remember I played Scythia as I do, and I got my chariot archers out there, or my Saka war archers out there, and I just stormed my nearest neighbor, which was another one of the players, and they did not appreciate it. And I realized, I think this is the kind of game I should be playing by myself, because the way I play is very aggressive and mean.
Anyways, some other items that we can bring up, and the saga of Monster Hunter Wilds continues.
Yeah.
Has a new crash bug.
Yeah. Man, Capcom can't win right now with Monster Hunter. They put out a new freaking Monster Hunter game, and I think it's still great. I think there's a few problems with it, but I don't think that there are problems that can't be fixed with enough time. But you would think that Capcom just took every Monster Hunter fan's heart and spit on it and threw it in the toilet. The way that these people are talking about, the way things are going. They have an update coming later this month that is going to be that was supposed to be coming in winter, that is going to add a new difficulty to the game, because a lot of people found the base game too easy. We'll see how they feel afterwards, but they're doing all sorts of weapon balancing and other stuff too. Apparently PC has had the worst of it. PC performance issues have been a constant topic I see.
I mean, that's usually the case because, consoles are supposed to be uniform. Every Xbox Series X is an Xbox Series X. Every PlayStation 5 is a PlayStation 5 is a PlayStation. PC, people have their own builds. They have their own graphics card, they have their own motherboards, whatever. So it's always going to, that's the one downside of doing PC. Yeah, you can have better graphics, but your PC may not react well to the software.
Mm-hmm.
You want the funniest news of the day?
What's that?
There's a Pal World ripoff on Switch called Paland.
A Pal World ripoff.
Called Paland.
Hey, somebody that is taking the premise of Pal World and making a slop shovelware version of it
for only $4.
That's incredible, considering Pal World itself is a
ripoff, because it's not like Pal World is calling itself Pokeland.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think they could probably sue, right? But also Nintendo probably side-eyed them, you thinking about suing those folks that are copying you?
I think they might just ignore them. By the way, have you seen The Secret of Weepstone?
I have not.
It's a black and white, hand-drawn D&D dungeon crawler.
No, I don't know much about that.
You should look it up. The Secret of Weepstone, and you'll say, "Wow, it looks really, really nice."
Okay.
And there was something else. I'm trying to remember what it is. Oh yeah, do you know that Stalker 2 is going to completely rehaul their Unreal Engine?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many different things in that game that have to move in motion at the same time because of the game world thing, where every character and every monster and every thing that's existing in that world has a persistent life.
So they're going to upgrade it to Unreal Engine 5.6.
I hope it works. I hope it doesn't break the game. Upgrading engines isn't a silver bullet that everyone thinks it might be. And we've seen it I think it was. I've seen people talking about Mafia, the old country, like where there are some things in there from Unreal Engine 5 that are kind of weird. But the other one is that people now have a pretty rough example of how I think bad and wrong things can go in Unreal Engine 5 because of Mind's Eye. Did you have you seen the stuff on Mind's Eye? Leslie Benzie's game that is like a trash fire.
Yeah, I heard about it.
It's rough.
Let me ask you a question. Are you still playing Night Rain?
I am. I've been trying. They keep doing the Everdark Sovereigns week on a weekly basis, which are like.
Have you fought Libra yet?
I have. I haven't fought Libra in his Everdark form, but
it's bullet hell. They smack dab in the middle of Night Rain.
Libra is a complete asshole to begin with because when Night Rain first launched, Libra had a bug in it where it does this attack where it'll jump at you and smash the ground. And on a normal cycle, it'll do that maybe once or twice. But the bug was making it do that attack again and again and again and again and again. And it was just unstoppable how fast it would move. So I think it's funny that Libra keeps continuing to be like the most ridiculously annoying boss to try to overcome in that game.
So we're going to go into your territory now, and we have to get your opinion on this. What do you think of the new Virtual Fighter that was shown off?
That was a very bold thing they did at EVO because that was like there was no music, there was no stage. It was like a virtual stage. It was like a training room stage. They just let like the game, they let like the fighting speak for itself, the impact, the moves. That was dope. I love what we saw out of that. And like that's kind of what Virtua Fighter should be, is just like clean ass 3D bare knuckle boxing.
And they're releasing yet another remake of Virtua Fighter 5 to get ready for it.
Yes. The rollback netcode was on PC, but it wasn't on console version. So,
hello.
And then it's also adding rollback to every platform instead of just PC. I've been fiddling with Virtua Fighter 5 a little bit more, and I enjoy I like fiddling with that game. It's a classic. I'm really excited for the new one, and it's going to be we're going to get another look at it at Tokyo Game Show. They confirmed that the next big look, which is probably going to be a playable demo, is going to be Tokyo Game Show 2025.
Yeah. We're going to wrap this up with one more story that has only tangentially anything to do with video games. Have you heard what's going on with McDonald's in Japan?
With the Pokemon cards?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
People were buying the meals, throwing them out, and just keeping the cards.
Fans ruin everything.
So they had to stop it.
Like they're talking like thousands of dollars of just uneaten food just being thrown in the garbage just so people could get Pokemon cards. That's so wasteful. And that's weird because what's up?
They had to call in the police.
Yeah. And that's kind of weird and out of the ordinary in my opinion for Japan, because that place is usually pretty clean, but like fans are fans, I guess, everywhere in the world.
I would have just said, if you want to just get the Pokemon card, pay twice as much for it.
I would have been like, I have to see you eat the Big Mac and the fries before I'll give you the card.
Vegetarians are not allowed to have Pokemon cards.
Bring your carnivorous friend and shove the burger in his mouth. I want to see it.
It's sad. It's sad on so many levels.
Poor kids who want to just get in on that and have no chance against overzealous 30-year-olds that are looking for their FOMO high.
Yeah. And of course, there's scalping of those cards. It's just,
yeah, that's a shame.
But it's hilarious. And I have to look at these cards because is there anything special about these cards? I mean, besides, if is it just because it has a Microsoft logo on it, or I don't know? Or are they just? Oh yeah, look, there's Pikachu eating a Big Mac. Being sold for 1,000 yen.
Yeah.
What is that, like $50 in American money or something? I don't know. But it's cute. But it's a shame. I mean, we had our own problems with the Monopoly games, but that was just plain old cheating. And the worst part was that it wasn't even people who were cheating; it was the employees who were cheating, who were just stealing damn things.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, look for our show notes at gamingpodcast.net, along with industry news and our gaming history articles. If you enjoy feedback, give us comments on our blog at gamingpodcast.net. Also, hit us up at facebook.com/gamingpodcast. You can find me on Blue Sky as Jonah Falcon.
You can find me at Johnny Chugs.
And we will see you next week, hopefully with Scott in tow.
Have fun, be cool, play games, y'all.
Event Horizon is one of the few horror movies that's unsettling to me, even having seen it even now.
Oh, yes. This is the airlock where Justin gets caught.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not dramatic. Look, you really have to find your equipment here. Oh, God. Thankfully, I'm not going to try and clean this place yet, because you apparently have to clean this place without even gravity helping you.
Man.
Oh, I have gravity in here. Sorta. I guess I have gravity boots. Oh. Well, that's not a message. I saw a message in here, but I guess I missed it.
It was down this way.
It was down here somewhere. Oh, back to the gravity drive. Yeah.
It was actually like right in this.
So, anyways, thanks for. Oh, there it is. No, not the chips. I've never really liked Fatso chips. There's the gun. There was no gun in. Was there a gun in Event Horizon? Oh, they had the nail gun. No, there was a nail gun. Remember?
Which was terrible.
That's what he broke the window with it. It was a rivet gun. Anyway, thanks for watching. Those of you who are watching us. No one asked any questions, which is sad. But you gotta entice people to doing that. We will see you next week. I'm gonna try and find a game that's a little less disturbing than this.